Listen, you are a white lady telling me what is racist to you,
I'm
which
a
is
gay
fine.
American who's been
That
told
is
Listen, you are a white woman letting me know bigot to you normally. You don't think body goes to the head of the free nation and says, might you at any point leave my vehicle? You know, is it bigot? Do you believe it's prejudice? I don't have the foggiest idea about the dark. Isn't that is exactly the same thing? Yes, you do. No, you don't. Yes, you really do. Child accumulate around people in light of the fact that Rosie O'Donnell just spilled some significant tea during her stunning appearance on Broke Say. Agard's webcasts now consider the possibility that you thought daytime syndicated programs were about brotherhood, and conversations reconsider Rosie didn't keep down the slightest bit as she went for a walk down the world of fond memories of her wild time on the famous show The View. Going for a walk through a world of fond memories, Rosie beheld back to her entrance into the daytime television show in 2006. She went ahead, and that the show's elements weren't precisely amicable, she didn't name names yet, unobtrusively demonstrated that Elizabeth Hasselbeck was an unmistakable player in the drama. Additionally, she indicated a secretive figure calling the shots, alluding to the show being less about lady voices and more about the mandates of a specific white male CIS maker, the late Bill Getty. Yet the genuine succulent pieces were held for her collaborations with the Ebb and Flow, have Whoopie Goldberg run. Rosie's account took a turn as she uncovered her underlying way out was a consequence of her conflicts with Hasselbeck. Yet upon her return, it was Whoopie who arisen as the headache for her. These conflicts weren't regular conflicts. They rotated around a few pretty dim and dubious subjects returned. To understand what prejudice, yes, you do know. You don't, yes, you truly do, child. In any case, digging into the points of interest of their debates, Rosie dropped a sensation, evidently Rosie and Hoops universe. Ursus crashed over the Say case, including you know who, yet that wasn't the main stunner. Rosie spilled that The View apparently chose not to see huge issues like the Rory Kennedy narrative about Abu Ghraib and the supposed youth torment, and surprisingly, the paper charges. Rosie was shocked when Whoopie absolutely wouldn't examine these issues on air. While the world watched the fight in court unfurl, the dramatization arrived at its zenith in 2007 when a BC chose to head out in different directions from Rosie, successfully finishing her agreement anyway. This episode wasn't whenever Rosie first had circulated her complaints against Whoopie. She caused disturbances in 2020 when she visited with Howard Harsh, uncovering that the their relationship had been rough all along. Rosie cleverly described an episode including a business break signal that Whoopie probably missed, prompting strain right from the very first moment. From the very beginning, she was annoyed with, like, I tossed a business, since I didn't realize that she saw. The commencement, the person resembled going like this in the shameful, detailed storybook Women Who Punch, the hazardous story of The View, composed by Raman Satuta. Rosie spilled much more beans she did. That Whoopie was everything except cordial while they shared the stage. Rosie ruled out equivocalness, attesting that Whoopie's live disposition was, as a matter of fact, quote-unquote, mean as anybody has ever experienced TV to me. By and by, she admitted that in any event, watching old class with Whoopie made her see the cynicism emanating from the screen with an end goal to put any misinformation to rest. Rosie made it clear during her visit with Harsh that she wasn't looking for a quarrel with Whoopie. She basically planned to share her side of the story. And as though this isn't awful enough, Rosie likewise uncovered that one of Whoopie's dear companions, Ellen DeGeneres, was additionally mean towards her. Everything began with a stunner of a run in the sort that had jaws dropping and head turning. Ellen, known for her adorable persona and clever humor, left Rosie floored when she proclaimed to Larry Lord that she didn't have any acquaintance with her, and they weren't companions. Get out, whatever. The aftermath resembled a delicious drama plotline unfurling just before our eyes here. And Ellen said in citing, I don't realize Rosie were not companions. I was sitting in front of the television in bed with my better half going. Did she simply say that the Flintstones entertain her as of late? Told an outlet it could never seem obvious me to say I don't have a clue about her, about someone whose children I held when they were conceived. It wouldn't be in that frame of mind of decisions to it. I point say yet stand by. It gets significantly juicier. Rosie's story returns us through a world of fond memories to when their fellowship was apparently flawless. She thought back about when she held Ellen's children when they were crisp out of the stove, an inspiring motion that would cause anybody To put stock in the force of brotherhood yet underneath the outer layer of the apparently unshakable companionship, a situation was unfolding. Rosie admitted to feeling a feeling of fortitude when Ellen fearlessly emerged as a lesbian, an essential second that ought to have established their security. Yet gracious how the tides changed when Rosie wound up exploring the slippery waters of media examination. Ellen, who held the spotlight as the sovereign of daytime TV, appeared to have a shift in perspective, leaving Rosie stranded when she really wanted her most. Now, here's where things take an inquisitive wind. Rosie uncovered that Ellen, as of late, slid into her DMS. Well, not precisely yet, you get the Mage. Half a month back, I got this message from Ellen monitoring me and all that. Rosie uncovered her words, dribbling with interest. Maybe the spotlight was by and by radiating on their relationship, uncovering a unique that is more going on behind the scenes, yet clutch your seats in light of the fact that Rosie isn't keeping down on reality, the sort that keeps tabloids stirring and fans stuck to their screens. She genuinely let the cat out of the bag about their oddness, a term that leaves a path of question marks lingering palpably. I couldn't say whether it's desire, rivalry, or the way that she said something mean regarding me once that truly made me feel bad. She said O'Donnell additionally noticed that DeGeneres told her I'm truly heartbroken, and I don't recall that in regards to the disturbing comment on their kinship, adding that she accepted the 65-year-old TV character, probably seen her discussion about the circumstance on Andy Cohen's show last September. I recollected that it's so well. He added, I had shirts printed and I gave them to my staff that said, I don't realize Rosie were not companions. I have an image of her holding Parker, she expressed, alluding to her 28-year-old child, who had been a baby at the time the image was taken. I know her mom, I could recognize her sibling without her in the room. I knew her for such countless years. It just felt as I have zero faith in this individual to be in my reality. Regardless, the magnetic host of The View has enchanted her direction into the hearts of millions over the course of the years, yet ongoing occasions have disclosed a hazier side to her that many never saw coming. While Goldberg has frequently introduced herself as a voice of reason and sympathy, insiders have begun to murmur regarding her supposed secret plans and disputable explanations that have left numerous watchers scrutinizing her actual expectations, from her candid perspectives on legislative issues to her sketchy treatment of delicate subjects. The breaks in her exterior have become excessively glaring to disregard Goldberg's show. The View, which once filled in as a stage for assorted voices and conversations, has gone under extreme investigation. Many contend that the show has turned into a favorable place for warm contentions and one-sided points of view, all worked with by Goldberg's supposed control of discussions to line up with her own convictions. Pundits bring up that, as opposed to cultivating certified discusses, the show has turned into an uneven loose quarters with contradicting conclusions, frequently pushed to the sidelines. Ongoing occasions have negatively affected Goldberg's picture too. The kickback following a progression of disputable proclamations she made on air left many contemplating whether she was really pushing for open exchange or just attempting to smother contradicting perspectives. Her emphasis on guarding her words, as opposed to considering the damage they might have caused, a commotion among fans and pundits. The same AD affinitive retribution came when it seemed The View was unexpected